Press O to tell your kids a story.
I don't have kids!
I'm going to hell.
I didn't mean to do that. Oh no, I'm going to hell.
Oh, yo, it's Hogwarts! So we're... Oh, here's something great. Da-da-da-da. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-da. You okay?
Half hearts.
Half hearts.
Hey!
Everybody.
Hello.
Hope you're having a wonderful time.
Absolutely.
Here on the Glitch of Chroma.
The Glitch of Chroma.
That just sounds weird saying it in reverse like that. But
Yeah, it does.
anyways, we are here with a special premiere for everybody.
Ooh. Special premiere.
I wonder what it could be.
You're so weird.
I learned how to do eyebrow raises in theater and stuff.
Yes, I can see that.
But anyway.
Yes. So today we're gonna start the evening off with our podcast. We're gonna do something different this time. I think last time we did the podcast we did fictional subtext.
Yes, verticality in games and all of that.
Yep. So today we are going to do our new one. Something we've been working on, something we really wanted to do. Because both of us really kind of have an interest in history and, you know, science, history, all that fun stuff. Art, just all of it.
Science?
Yes.
Just a mad scientist moment.
Literally a mad scientist moment. But yes, so we are going to start our... Why? This is fine.
Oh, I guess it got stuck.
It did.
You just gotta, like, lift it up and, like, twirl it.
It's effort.
Do a
But...
Zorro thing.
Do a...
Well, like...
No, it's fine.
Okay.
The keyboard's in my lap, so it's fine. But we are going to do earlier times today. Stream Elements just posted it.
Yay!
But yes, so you want to tell everyone what earlier times today is about?
Earlier times today is essentially going over like history, science, technology, kind of where those things collide. Not exactly Twilight Zone, of course, because that's more of a fictional flair for things, but more like important figures, movements, inventions, designs, like just neat stuff that you probably haven't heard about, and just, you know, kind of bringing it to modern times and being like, this was a really cool thing that happened.
Yep.
But, you know, we're putting it in the context of today and, like, talking about it and bringing it to light. Hence, you know, earlier times today. It's really cool.
Earlier times today. The way you did that.
Just choreography. I don't even know.
Just Vogue.
Just pantomiming at this point.
Oh gosh. But yeah, so earlier times today. So we picked some people from history. And we have a whole list.
Right.
So we only picked a few off of our list for today, because the list could go on for days.
I've seen that it's quite.
Yeah, it's like I have an entire journal just full of names and things and people and dates and all of that stuff.
All the information.
All the information.
Nuts.
It is. But yeah, so today we're going to explore, like you said, some people who may not get the recognition that they truly do deserve, because they've done quite a bit for us.
Very substantial figures. Like, you may not heard of them, perchance, but the things
you have heard of the things
they've contributed to, done, or been a part of. You're just like, whoa, okay, yeah, that's like huge.
Yep.
humongous.
Absolutely.
And, goal today is to bring that recognition for everybody.
And just, spread information, because in the digital age, that is
right.
a benefit that we have, is that information can be spread, and
we're
it's all
living
good.
in the information age.
Yes.
It's perfectly brilliant.
Alright, so you want me to pull up the thingy? Okay, I gotta do that. Present.
There we go. Perfect, and that's the thing.
Okay, so let me make sure this is doing its thing. Oh, it is. Well,
I got it.
Yours is so
mine.
much faster than mine.
I don't know why it's on mobile too. Like, it really should.
Well, no,
be
mine's
fast.
on mobile too.
Oh, yours on mobile?
It's just such a
And
delay.
I have Twitch for Android. How the hell is mine fast? Anyways, that really doesn't matter.
That's a topic for another day.
Oh my goodness.
But so, earlier times today, what you aren't taught in school, probably aren't taught, because a lot of this you really have to look up.
Right, because unfortunately, at least where we're from, curriculum is very much like Common Core, standardized that's another topic for another day.
Yeah.
But it's like, it doesn't teach you what you really should know.
Yes.
It teaches what...
It teaches you how to say yes and no.
Carbon copy, mold, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, and it's...
because education is important, and you really have to, I blanked, but you really have to be well-rounded. Because it's good to have, 2 + 2 = 4, and the very basic stuff. But there are some things that, again, get overlooked, or just like, we don't have time to go over this, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Like the big meme I always saw was like, oh, how to do taxes. But, like, even more
I didn't
than
learn how to do that in school.
Because my big thing was, like, history provides context for why things are. Like, science is a universal language explaining the how.
Yep.
Like, because anybody can flip on a light bulb, right? But when you study, like, thermodynamics, physics, electricity, you're like, I can harness that power in my hands that hasn't been unlocked for, like, 3,000-4,000 years of recorded human history. Like...
Absolutely.
It's Pandora's box, essentially.
It really is Pandora's box.
Education
Yeah.
and knowledge. Like, that's the whole thing. And, like, again, with some of the stuff in here, it's very much like... I mean, because this is kind of just baby steps to start it, of course, but...
Yep, we're going to definitely start with, more of the baby steps. And then we're going to do more deep dives into everything and anything. So, I guess, are you ready to flip the switch and do some... Don't cough on me. Some learning?
Oh my gosh. No, I'm just clearing my throat to get ready to...
I'm kidding. Alright. So, first up.
On the list is George Crum. Hope I pronounced that right.
Yes.
Oh, George Speck. Oh, okay. Also known as George Crum, was an American chef. He worked as a hunter, guide, and cook in the Adirondack Mountains and became noted for his culinary skills after being hired at Moon's Lake House on Saratoga Lake, near Saratoga Springs, New York.
So, everyone is eating chips. Whether you like them or not, everyone has had them. Now it's like a $1 million industry.
Oh my god. Like, of course, the big thing being on, gaming ourselves and gamers is like Mountain Dew and Doritos. Like,
that's
Lay's is a big example of chips. Like, they're just all the...
Like, it literally becomes a $1 million industry.
Oh, billion dollar
actually billions,
industry.
Billions.
Potato chips. Man. Literally one of the greatest inventions. You just have a bowl and you just nom 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 nom. Then you have like the barbecue sauce, Cool Ranch.
Oh gosh,
Can't
Ranch
say
is
Cool
good.
Whip, but Cool Ranch I can do.
Cool Up chips.
Cool.
All right. During the 1850s, while working at Moon's Lake House in the midst of a diner rush, Speck tried slicing the potatoes extra thin and dropping the slices into a deep hot fat of the frying pan.
I remember, now I have no idea the authenticity or if this is actually true, but what I read on Reddit was essentially, like, this guy wanted, like, potatoes au gratin, which essentially is just a really fancy word for waffle fries these days. But, like, he wanted them just shaved so razor thin, and the, like, guy was getting pissed off, because, like, you know, how thin do you want it? So the guy just said, thinner. No, I want them thinner. And so he's like, okay. So he just, as a joke, like, shaved them super thin, fried them, and that became the French fries, served it to the dude, and the dude was like, I love this, give me, like, 20 more potatoes like this.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was just like, okay.
Yeah.
That's what people enjoy.
That's what
Again, no idea the authenticity of that, but...
I think I've heard that story as well. I think a lot of people have heard that story. All right. Next up on our list, we have Dr. Shirley Ann Jackson. And when I tell you, there was so much information.
Oh gosh, I am prepared.
Hold on. Okay. But yes, Dr. Shirley Ann Jackson. She is an American physicist and the 18th president of Rensselaer, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Polytechnic Institute. She is the first African American woman to have earned a doctorate at the Massachusetts. Why is that state so hard to say?
It's a lot of S's and T's.
Institute of Technology, MIT. Yeah, that is difficult to pronounce.
RIP Massachusetts.
I tried my best. In 1955, she began collecting live bumblebees and observing their reactions to changes in diet and light exposure. She is also the second African American woman in the United States to earn a doctorate in physics in 1973.
Wow.
Yeah. So she in 1973. And you realize how close, because there are people we know who were born in like 77 and all of that stuff.
Yeah, good God. My mom was born in 59. Like, well, actually shows how old me and my mom are, but anyways.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so in 1973, there had still only been one African American woman in the United States to earn a doctorate in physics until 1973.
That's mind blowing.
And you realize how close, because that was only like, it's 2020 now.
Less than 50 years ago, 47.
Yep.
And
see, that's the thing people don't realize is
mental.
You see history and like everything is like a list.
Right.
It's like this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. When in actuality it's this happened, this happened, this branched out into this, and so on and so forth. It's like clusters.
It's more of a Venn diagram than a line or a cycle. Well, it's another topic for another day. String theory and time.
Oh gosh.
God, there's so much.
There is, yes.
I'm getting way off topic
you
too
are.
easily. Like, I gotta rein myself back in.
It's very easy, and that's because, again, history is like clusters of information.
So full of
It's like you go into one year and all these things happened. In 95, President Bill Clinton appointed Jackson to serve as chairman of the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, NRC, becoming the first woman and first African American to hold that position.
wow.
So this brings all of this even closer to a lot of us.
Right.
A lot of them 90s babies. We're literal 90s
Raise
babies.
his hand, born in 95. Man, that's nuts.
Okay, yeah.
Or we can popcorn read.
Well, no, I was just saying because the text was perfectly aligned to where it didn't look like it changed for me.
Oh,
And I was just
weird.
like,
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
Graphic design.
It is. In 2001, she became the first African-American woman elected to the National Academy of Engineering. In 2004, she served as president of the American Association for the Advancement of Science.
Wow.
Yes.
And this is just so many accomplishments and achievements.
Yes.
And some of these are
There were more.
Like, that's 3 years back to back. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure the whole thing could span, like, an entire binder full of, like...
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. In 2009, she was appointed by President Barack Obama to the President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. In 2016, she was awarded the National Medal of Science for work in condensed matter and particle physics, science-rooted public policy achievements, and inspiration to the next generation of STEM professionals.
Dang.
So yeah, so 2016.
That was recent.
Yes.
Like, that was just 4 years ago,
Yep.
even. And the National Medal of Science. And 2000, served under multiple presidents.
Yep.
Wow. Like, and then all the way back to 55 to, like, now. That's just
Yep.
probably still going.
Yep.
Like, mind blown.
History. Important things people should know.
Right, and like how one person can do that much.
Can literally do so much.
And just literally change the world, you know,
Yeah.
with all of that. The whole way we see it and working towards like science, physics, the advancement of it, like.
Yep.
Oh, I thought we were.
I didn't know you wanted me to too.
Oh no, that's fine. It's all good.
I was like, just caught me off guard.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Popcorn?
Sure. I'll popcorn. Lewis Howard Latimer. Now, I actually have heard of Latimer before. I think we studied him in community college. He like did the air conditioning unit or like a early prototype of it.
Mm-hmm. That's one of his patents.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
If you want to
Oh,
read.
well, yeah, it reads down there, the patent number with Latimer on the top, or...
That's for the light bulb. But do you want to read
okay.
the text?
Sure, yeah. An inventor and draftsman best known for his contributions to the patenting of the light bulb and the telephone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Got it. Born to parents who had fled slavery, Latimer learned the art of mechanical drawing while working at a patent firm. Over the course of his career as a draftsman, Latimer worked closely with Thomas Edison and Alexander Graham Bell, in addition to designing his own inventions.
Yep.
Wow, that's like the crux of history. Light bulb, telephone, like I'm sure
Yep.
many, many more.
Oh,
on
there,
his own
again, there were a
inventions.
lot of things. I had to condense a lot of information.
Jeez. Nuts.
Like, yeah. There was a lot of information.
And Latimer designed a number of his own inventions, including an improved railroad car bathroom and an early air conditioning unit. He also helped draft the patent for Bell's design of the telephone. Oh, okay, so it was mechanical drawings of
Yes.
because that's a
Because
very
he was a draftsman.
specific type of thing.
Yes,
But-
that's exceptionally specific. You have to be, like, the best of the best to
Dang.
do anything for drafting for patents, essentially. Because, like, now they have a lot of digital, and I think they do most of it digitally, you know?
Oh yeah.
But again, this was
before the digital
Before all
age,
of
you
that.
had to
So you
find it
see
exact.
the drawing of the light bulb. I think the camera's covering it on the thing. But
Oh,
it,
yeah, but wow, no,
Yeah.
the light bulb is very much
Yes.
like insane.
yes.
And one other thing, those railroad car bathroom because I guess like everybody traveled by coal or steam train.
Yeah.
Like, huh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
the railroad car, they would have bathrooms on the trains.
Okay, I guess I'm trying to imagine in terms of like plumbing and stuff.
It's the same as like an RV, essentially.
Oh, okay.
I think basically, for something like that on a train that's moving, it's the same as an RV, which also, well, RV would be the same to it because RV came very much later.
Yeah, I was just like, hold on, now I got confused. But, okay. And Latimer was directly involved with one of these inventions, the telephone. Working with Bell, Latimer helped draft the patent for Bell's design of the telephone. He was also involved in the field of incandescent lighting, particularly competitive field, working for Hiram, Maxim, and Edison.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a lot of fighting over the light bulb.
Yep.
I remember, because there was Edison, there was Maxim, there was, you know, I think I've heard of Latimer's name there too, working for them both. I think Tesla, was that one of his things?
At one point, yes.
Because Tesla did a lot of stuff, but man, that's...
Yes, so he worked with a lot of people we hear about. But
yeah, and
you do, a lot of people don't know about Latimer, and Latimer was very important because without him, there wouldn't have been the
there would have
patent.
been no patent, there would have been no, like, inventions, well, at least for probably decades set back, had he not been in the picture.
Yep.
Man. And, oh, okay.
Okay.
Do you want to popcorn again?
Sure, we can popcorn to me.
Okay.
Alright, so Marie Van Britton Brown. She was an inventor of the home security system. There's a patent number in 1966 along with her husband Albert Brown. She worked as a nurse and her husband was an electrician. So we also have the drawing. Camera is covering it again.
Oh no, camera.
But it's like, if you see that, like, do you remember the early, like, home security systems?
Well,
Or like someone would, well, for us, it would be early for us.
Oh, yeah.
Where like someone
like,
would have like their TV and then they just switch to a channel on the remote and it would show outside.
Oh gosh, yeah, where they had like the camera things and it was very much like the white camera that would pan and it'd be like a CCTV loop on the...
Well, there was that, and then there was also, because what I remember seeing when I was very young, was I went to someone's house, and they had, like, a TV thing, you know, just a regular TV, like the box TV, and, like, basically what they would do is if someone knocked at the door, they'd just switch the channel, and then it would pull up the door.
Huh.
And like the outside, like the feed. And so it was really cool as a little kid because you're just like, what is that?
Wow. Man,
And so,
I
you know,
must
now
have
we have like
never
the ring.
seen that.
I mean, I feel like it is something a lot of people didn't see or knew about because people feel like the ring is that's what that, people think that is like first and for like, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like they think, oh, home security went from like, you know, the CCTV with where not everyone has it to where, oh, just put a ring on it.
Oh, like the Amazon ring.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like the movie The Ring for some... I don't know why, like how they did the camera shot looking at the TV.
No,
as the thing was...
no.
Oh my god, that's embarrassing.
You sweet child. But yeah, so this was like, she invented this.
Man.
So it was inspired by how long it would take police to arrive in our neighborhood. Brown invented the first form of the home security system, for that reason.
And I can see too, like, that says like figure 1, and there's like 220 8 or something parts to it.
There were a lot of parts. Because essentially the system had a set of 3 like peepholes, and at the opposite side of the door, a camera was attached with the ability to slide up and down to allow the person to see through each one. And so you could, push a button on your TV, and it would show you each of those feeds.
That's insane. Like
it's
how
awesome.
Sophisticated that, because that had to have been like a dolly track with electricity to power it,
and this was in '66, so again, not that far away. Yeah. The system included a device that enabled a homeowner to use a television set to view the person at the door and hear the caller's voice.
That's insane.
I see you're just so amazed.
And, because not only, my God, like, I have to process this for a second, because, like, in 66, 67, it was rare to have a color television set.
Mm-hmm. So it was still a black and white TV most of the time.
Mm-hmm. For a lot of people. And yet, there's a thing where, like, again, it's that dolly track. It's 3 peepholes in the camera. But they could hear the caller's voice, too. So you would need to have ways to connect audio and video feed.
Yep.
And, like, I guess that'd be a video camera or a recorder?
Essentially, yes. You're just amazed.
And
I love it.
I'm mind blown. That's unbelievable for the time. And especially, like, those TVs. Because, I mean, obviously today you can just HDMI cable and set the feed, or before then, and this is, really, you had the little, like, audio video cable that you had to plug, screw in by hand, and, like, that would be the thing. Would that still have been that AV cable?
Sort of, I believe. It
Back then,
is. I haven't seen, like, a box TV in, like, years.
Oh, yeah, everything is flat screen LED. Like,
so it would take me a minute to remember how.
Box TVs went the way of the dodo very much. But, is that?
I guess that is all.
Oh, okay.
Well.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's
unbelievable, the things, like, because home security system, light bulb, like, advancing the field of science decades beyond what it would have been otherwise, and potato chips that everybody loves and enjoys. Just a sweet, salty delicacy of a snack. Like,
every time you talk about food, I just have to sit there.
I like food. I mean, who doesn't like food? Let's just be honest. Like,
but
it's delicious and perfect.
And again, we're gonna do more of these. Have more people, because again, there was a lot of information for just 4. Gosh, I wasn't expecting that to be that quick.
Dang, yeah, that kind of just.
It took me a while. It took me a while to make those slides, and now I'm just like, well, dang. Now I know. Prepare for the next one. So let me see something really quick. Where's my thing? Right here. Okay.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yes. There we go. So yeah, that caught me off guard by how fast that went. So now I know to add more of the slides.
That's the thing I noticed, like, writing stuff, is, like, it
takes longer to write it than to present it.
So much longer, especially in, like, college or high school. Like, you could spend the better part of an hour, like, writing 2 pages,